Okay, there we go. Hey, welcome everybody. Hope you're doing well. Happy Monday, another Monday. Just rolling back through. It's amazing how fast the weeks continue to roll by. I'm excited to jump on. Sorry I'm late. Once again, technical difficulties. I feel like every time I try to get one of these times, I'm going to actually not have to restart my computer, not having to replug in something, et cetera, et cetera. And I guess that's the way it rolls with technology. So, we're going to do today is we're going to talk, we're going to pivot our conversation over the last several weeks. We've been talking about team building. That's been the major conversation with a lot of you right now as we head into the summer, beginning to think about fall, think about gathering the right leaders together. We're going to do today is we're going to pivot a little bit and talk a little bit more around vision. All right, so we want to think about, like, okay, now as you're heading into the fall, you're beginning to prepare. How do you begin to ask the question, where do we go from here? Right. So how do we begin to lay out a clear vision for our leadership, for the team, for the college students, the young adults in our ministry? And so how do we begin to cast that vision and begin to help them move forward? So a lot of times I'll get on a call with people even this last week, and we'll talk a little bit around vision. I'll begin to ask them, like, what's the vision for your ministry? Where do you want to go? Kind of hear some of those things. And often what I'll get is I'll get either a very concise, very clean vision statement. And I can usually tell that that has been kind of the thing that's been rehearsed amongst the staff team. And so you got to make sure that you have this clear vision statement. So I hear this super polished, like, vision statement, this sentence that people have. Or what I'll hear is this kind of a discombobulated, disjointed, kind of wandering through the forest of, like, this is where I think that we're called to go. Right. So how do we make sure that we're not kind of in those two ditches, right? So we're not so super mechanical where it's just like it's words, but it's not actually creating the pull that we wanted to create. Or how do we make sure that it's not this, like, disjointed group of ideas, but it's actually creating clarity around where people are wanting to go? And so as we're building teams, often we'll put people in roles, begin to assign them tasks. Then everybody eventually is going to turn to us and ask this question, okay, what's next, right? Where are we going? What does this fall look like? What does this year look like? And often what can happen is that we can put either together some of these kind of things in front of them, either this slick, polished sentence or this just disjointed idea. And what often will happen is they'll begin to create confusion amongst our leadership team. And so this is a pattern that we see quite a bit, right? So leaders will get a team in place. Then after a few weeks, there begins to be this kind of restlessness in the leadership team where often what will happen is drift will begin to set in, and everybody might be busy, or they might be doing tasks, or that you might be excited about stepping onto your leadership team for the first time. But then the question begins to kind of rise to the surface of, like, okay, where are we heading? And often we can assume that direction just happens when the team exists. So when we put the team together, then there's going to be this automatic buy-in and continuity around the team moving forward directionally together. But here's what I'm here to tell you is it doesn't work that way. And so here's what I want to encourage you not to do. Okay. So let's talk about, like, when you think about what's next, is to just simply create a vision statement. Now, our vision statement's good. Yeah, they're useful. But if you're just anchoring on a vision statement, that can be inspiring to people, but they'll walk out really not knowing what that looks like day to day. Like, what does that look like for us on a Tuesday night as we're gathering together? So you can have a vision statement. Or the other side is like, you can just create a to-do list where you're causing people to do a lot of activities to fill the calendar. In fact, I was just on a call with a leader this morning talking about that very challenge of that we can mask vision with the busyness of a calendar, but really we're not moving together. And so it's not just a vision statement. It's not a to-do list, but really what it is it's the direction in between, right? So it's bigger than a task and it's more usable than a vision statement. And so when you think about this difference between a statement and direction, a statement goes really on a wall, it goes on a brochure, it goes in a document. A direction is where your team can act this week with no follow-up questions. So there's a difference between statement and direction. Or a statement can inspire, but direction is going to help people move. And so teams don't drift from like really a motivation problem. They drift because they got a statement and they need direction. So here's what I want to do is I want to give you a tool. And this is actually a tool that we utilize with as we're coaching different leaders, as we call it the 5 C's. And the 5 C's are a framework that we want to run the pieces of our vision through that will ask the question, are we helping people move in the same direction? So there's 5 different C's that will help us move in that direction. So C number 1, the first C is going to be, is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. So as you begin to think about your vision, the first question we need to ask is it clear? And here's where I would kind of like double down and boil down the clarity question is does a brand new volunteer get it with zero explanation, right? So as you begin to paint this picture, is there a level of clarity where that volunteer, without having to go into some long explanation of what's happening, they can actually begin to understand what moving forward? So number 1, is it clear? Number 2 is it concise? We'll use this question of like, can you do it in one breath? We call it the one breath rule, right? So the reason that we want it concise enough is because when something is concise, it's carryable, right? So when you can squeeze it down into your vision being concise, it now is carryable through other people. So if it's so complex, and we talked about the example of having this kind of like wandering vision, like if there's so many ideas and complexities around it, what happens is that's not carryable for people. So is it concise? So that's the second C. Is it clear? Is it concise? Number 3, is it compelling, right? Do they actually want to repeat it? So one of the things, and we're doing this with a couple churches right now, is we're running them through some vision language, some clarity around vision. Is one of the things that we're really trying to help them drill down on is it compelling for people? Do they actually want to repeat it, right? Is it something that draws them in? We ask this question of, does your vision cause somebody to lean in to you and begin to ask more questions and want to really be a part of it? So is it clear? Is it concise? Is it compelling? Here's the 4th C. Is it catalytic? Is it catalytic? Is it create action? Right? Is it not just a set of ideas, but is actually help directionally move people together that will help them continue to move forward to the vision? So is it catalytic, right? So does it cause people to want to jump in and participate in the vision? So is it clear? Is it concise? Is it compelling? Is it catalytic? And here's the last one, the last C, the 5th C. Is it contextual? Is it specific to your people, right? Is it specific to your campus? Is it specific to that moment? And is it contextual? So the question would be does the church down the road, they shouldn't have the same vision, right? Because there's a unique people and a unique place that you've been called in to lead that vision forward. So the 5 C's, is it clear? Is it concise? Is it compelling? Is it catalytic? Is it contextual? And so here's why it matters. Okay, let's talk about why it matters. Is because when you begin to have a team and you can begin to, what I would say is kind of like squeeze the vision out, right? It will continue. Think about a vision as like being a funnel. We want to continue to like push it down into helping those 5 C's should be things that help it down into a vision that people actually can rally around. So when a team is really clear, they can begin to move without you. And that's one of the questions is like, if a vision is just dependent on you moving forward and it doesn't have the ability to move without you, often it's the reason is because there's a lack of clarity. And so why it matters is because a team then can take that vision and doesn't depend on you carrying that vision, but it's them independently can begin to move forward even without you in the room. We always ask this question, will it happen on a Tuesday morning without you there, right? Does this vision continue to move forward? Also, you think about when we think about teams of leadership, it allows them to route a lot of their decision making through that vision without having to go back to you. So the vision can be a filtering mechanism without all these questions having to come back to you, where it's not it's the we think about like Moses and Jethro, right? It's the principle where not everything is falling on one person, and so that you don't become the bottleneck for your team, and it allows them, and this we've been talking about in leadership, is how to begin to share that load amongst other leaders, and the direction isn't just for them, but it also begins to free you. So here's what I want you to do this week, okay? As you begin to think about fall, as you begin to think about like how to carry the vision forward, how do you continue? Um, Write down one of the directions that you feel like that God is asking you to move in this next season. So not necessarily a statement, but then what I want you to do is I want you to run it through those 5 C's. Is it clear? Is it concise? Is it compelling? Is it contextual? Is it catalytic? Right? So we're going to run it through these 5 C's, and where you feel the tension of helping consolidate and clarify that vision of saying, is it catalytic as we want? Is it as contextual? Use some of the next couple of weeks to continue to refine that. And 6, so use those 5 C's as a mechanism to create some fixing of your vision or some building out of your vision or clarity around your vision. And so what you want to continue to do is bring that to the team and actually invite them into that conversation as well. So I'd encourage you to take some time this week, run through the 5 C's, utilize that as a filtering mechanism for your vision for this year to help create clarity for moving forward. Okay. So there's a quick thought on vision, one of the tools that we use, calling the 5 C's. Okay. A couple things. Encourage you. We just had our monthly team training last week. And so if you haven't yet had a chance to watch that, you can either jump on YouTube or Circle, and that replay is available. Also, we have some really cool events coming up here over the next few weeks. Our leader community next week in San Marcos, Texas. We have our leader community in Shelby, North Carolina. We have a 3-day leader lab in Edmond, Oklahoma. We got some other things in Florida and other places planned this fall as well. So make sure you're staying in the loop on those few things that we have for you. Reach out if you need something. We will be off next Monday because we have a leader community happening, but then we'll jump on in a couple weeks here and continue with our Monday conversations. We encourage you, if you can jump on live, you can even type in some questions and we can chat about these a little bit. And if not, you can catch the replay anytime. Love being able to be a resource for you. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Have a good rest of your week. Okay, we'll see you.